Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Om Mannado Sri Jagannatha Madguru Sri Jagadguru Mamatma Sarva Bhutatma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Om Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tat Padam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. The only Guru of three religions, Traitatiram originator, sensational writer, the author of more than 100 divine holy scriptures, Hindu virtue donor, Sri 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 Acharya Prabodhananda Yogeshwarlu. We are learning Gnana Yogam chapter. This Gnana Yogam chapter last week we learned the first Slokam. In the first Slokam, God said that, so this is an imperishable wisdom. This wisdom was taught first to the sun, sun taught to Manu, Manu taught to the king Ikshvaka. Like that, the wisdom was spread among the people one after another. And we came to know some of the questions which nobody answered so far. Only Traitatiram Bhagavad Gita, which is going to answer very well. And whatever the rational questions come out of this meaning of the slokam, so they are all answered very well. And as part of this slokam, we came to know that movable creatures, immovable creatures, and the system inside the subtle body or invisible body, how it works inside the movable body. So movable creature, we are part of the movable creature, and every creature will have the invisible body and physical body. And physical body is consisting of 10 parts for human being. In invisible body consists of 15 parts in it, and invisible body and physical body will be there for all the creatures. So even sun also having the both the bodies, because Lord God said that he taught wisdom to him. So even though sun looks like he is in the round shape, so we can't see his mouth and ears. So there was a question for us, so how come sun listen to the wisdom without having the ears? How come the sun could able to speak without having the mouth to him? So even though there are the creatures, all the creatures are not in the same shape. So sun is in the round shape, even moon is also in the round shape, and we are having the physical legs and hands, visible body parts, very well described. And there are some other creatures also, they have different shapes, so we can't see all the physical body parts which we have. But invisible body, which is having 15 parts of the body, will be there for other creatures as well. So that is why the sun also having the invisible body, and there is a invisible body for a idol inside the temple. So inside the temple, idol is there. Idol will have the mortal soul. Inside the idol, mortal soul also there. So inside us, mortal soul is there. So both are called jivas, means mortal souls. They are living their life. So, but the invisible body or subtle body from the idol can come out n number of times and roam around and go back into the idol itself. So since we are saying it as vigraha, graha means which observes, vigraha means which has the special qualities in it. So we are all grahas, observers. So since we are the creatures, every creature we can call graha. Graha means we can observe the things. So in the similar way, the sun is far away, but he left his physical body there and he traveled all the way down to the earth with his subtle body, and he possessed into some other person, and that person taught wisdom to the Manu. That's what happened. So without grasping the knowledge about the subtle body, physical body, and subtle body parts, and movable creatures, immovable creatures, and the graha and vigraha, all those kind of things, so we cannot understand the wisdom properly. So from the first slokam itself, we got a very good answer for the questions whatever we have. That's what we learned last week, but you have to read through it so that you can uh, learn more. Specifically, read Traitatiram Bhagavad Gita so that you can understand the wisdom in a proper way, in a right direction. So let's learn about the second slokam. एवं परंपरा प्राप्तमिमं राजर्षयो विदुः सकाले नेह महता योगो नष्टः परन्तपा. So what happened when Bhagavan or God taught his wisdom first to the son, son taught to Manu, Manu taught to Ikshvaka, the king that time. So the motive or objective of the God that time was to spread the wisdom to entire humanity. So he targeted king, because king will be the higher authority in the kingdom itself, in the country or kingdom itself. So once he knows the wisdom, he could easily order the people to learn the wisdom, so that so quickly the wisdom can spread among the human beings. That's what his aim. So when King Ikshvaka learned the wisdom, after that some saints also learned that wisdom. Like that, one after another, everybody got the wisdom and started practicing that wisdom, practicing that righteousness. So after some time, what happened? So the king stopped learning. People stopped learning the wisdom, but the rishis and saints, munis, all those people, they went into the forest and they were doing the practice of the wisdom itself. If somebody else, someone like some king or somebody emperor, if he really wanted to learn the wisdom, he used to go to the forest and find a saint, and from that saint he used to learn the wisdom. After some time, what happened? So as Lord Krishna said that sakale neha mahata yogo nashtaha parantapaha, that means, oh Arjuna, so after some time the great yogam, the great yoga vidya, means this is the super science uh, lost, the super science was lost. So what happened? The so-called respected munis, rishis, saints, all those people, they started practicing other than the real divine knowledge, other than the real divine knowledge. So what they were practicing, their practices uh, completely related to the desires. So they will have some desire, to fulfill their desire. They use it to practice penances, worshippings, and meditations, and other things which were not taught by the Lord Krishna itself. They used to do that. So when they started doing like that, they deviated totally from the divine wisdom, and they came towards the nature, that means paradharmam. So unrighteousness practices they started doing. When they started doing that, the public also, other people also, advised by them, they also started doing that. Like that, the yoga vidya, the Brahma vidya, the super science was lost there itself. That's why Lord Krishna is telling over here in this slokam, Mahata yogo nashtaha parantapa. Parantapa means the one who is desiring for the param. Param means the eternal world. So that's why he called Arjuna as Parantapa. So uh, the people became unrighteousness practicers. They started practicing unrighteousness things, not the righteousness. They lost all the spiritual knowledge. Nobody was practicing the spiritual wisdom. So they were all practicing only the nature related practices. So that was the reason Lord Krishna was telling that. So why people were not practicing the wisdom is because they lost the wisdom, they don't know. So whatever they know is related to the fulfilling the desires only. So then he is what then again what he is saying over here in the third slokam, let us see. So what was the reason, what was the necessity to teach the wisdom now? He is speaking about that in the third slokam. स एवायं मया ते अद्य योगः प्रोक्तः पुरातनः भक्तोऽसि मे सखा चेति रहस्यं हे तदुत्तमम्. What he is telling about this yoga vidya, the Brahma vidya, which is the greatest one, which is the highest one, which is the noblest one, which is the supermost thing, that is the wisdom. And it is the secret one. It's not public. It's not publicly teachable thing, which is the secret one. That's why Brahma vidya, Gupta vidya is a secret education. And the greatest education, the biggest education, whoever learns, he doesn't need to learn other educations, because this is the highest education. And this was taught very, very long ago in the beginning itself. So since this yoga vidya was lost in total, you are my devotee, you are my loved one. So I am teaching to you. Who is teaching? Lord Krishna is teaching to Arjuna. Not only to Arjuna, he is in fact teaching to all the creatures. He is teaching to us as well, because we are also mortal soul. We also need the wisdom to destroy our karma. So this is the valuable one, supermost thing. Such kind of wisdom, when you teach this one to the eligible person, then only there will be a lot more value to the real wisdom, since it is from the God himself. If you tell to the people who are falling behind the desires and doing all the things to fulfill their desires, if you try to teach the so much great wisdom, they always think in terms of profits, physical world related profits, gains, they always think. So their mindset will be like, what is the benefit for me? How much benefit I am going to get, physical benefit. Those kind of people always look into that. So if somebody is teaching somewhere about the real divine wisdom, if such kind of persons who are falling behind the desires, if they come to know that there is a lecture or speech, preaching is going on about the God's wisdom, this guy will think that why should I spend $10 to go there? So I can save $10 if I don't go there. So with respect to that person, the greatest wisdom value is less than $10 itself. So we must be very careful, and we must teach to the person who is really interested. If you teach the wisdom who are not really interested, then the teachings will go in waste. So teach to the people who is really interested. That's what Lord Krishna is also telling to Arjuna, that since you are my devotee, you are my loved one, so whatever I speak, you will definitely follow that. You will listen to that. That's why I am teaching to you. We also must be like that, like Arjuna, so that God also will um, teach more and more wisdom to us. So, after Lord Krishna spoke all these things, how he taught wisdom to son taught to Manu, Manu to Ikshvaka, and other mankind also, all other people also learned the wisdom one after another. And he said that, so after some time, the Yoga Vidya, the big education was lost. So people started practicing the adharmas, unrighteousness practices. So the time came to re-establish the dharmas. So that's why he's saying that, and he would like to teach the wisdom who is very much interested. And since Arjuna is the one who is having more interest and trust on the God, and he is the loved one of the Lord Krishna, so he said that he is teaching to him the same wisdom whatever he taught in the beginning itself to the son. So after this one, Arjuna got a doubt. Arjuna wanted to get clarification whatever the doubt he got. He questioned him. He questioned Lord Krishna. So what he is asking, अपरं भवतो जन्म परं जन्म विवस्वतः कथं एतद्विजानीयां त्वमादौ प्रोक्तवान् इति. What he is saying? Tvam, you, Adau, now Proktavan, told. Here, Aparam Bhavato Janma Param Janma Vivasvataha. Your birth happened now. The son born in the beginning itself. He born in the beginning itself. You are now. You are now. You and me are now itself. So we are in the same time itself. There might be some thousands and hundreds and thousands of millions of years passed away, but we are just less than 100 years. Suppose we are now here, and if we see the gap between us and the birth time of the sun, it will be like millions. How could I believe it? How could I trust that you are now, you are existing now? How you taught wisdom to the son then? So that was the question. So nowadays, wherever some preachings are going on, so-called Swamijis, Gurus in the society, they speak, they preach some wisdom over there. If somebody else gets some doubt and ask them, then they immediately say that we have the books, we released the books, published the books, so you read that books, you will get the answer for that. Just they will tell like that, and they will escape from that scene itself. And even if you get up in between while they were while they are teaching the wisdom, then if you ask a question, he will say that sit down, sit down. So that means he doesn't know the answer for the question whatever the other person or audience asked. So whenever you don't have complete wisdom, you cannot answer all the questions whoever asks you. So in order to do that, so whenever you get a doubt, you have to clarify that. In Bhagavad Gita itself, Lord Krishna said that Arjuna, whenever you get doubt, immediately you have to get clarification for that. So once you get clarification, you can move forward. You should not be like wherever you throw the thing, be like that. You should be advancing, advancing, advancing. So whenever you are studying fifth grade, in the fifth grade, what they will do, they will evaluate your study and understanding, and they will conduct a test exam. So in that exam, if you pass, then they will mark it as you are eligible to go to the next level, that is sixth grade. So if you fail in the fifth grade subject, so then they will tell that you have to study it again, fifth grade itself. That means wherever you are staying there only. So that means you are not advancing in your knowledge. So in the wisdom also, you have to advance, you have to go advance, you have to have a mindset of research mindset, rational mindset. Keep reading, keep understanding, keep doing research on that. Whenever you have the doubts or questions, immediately you ask that, so that you will get clarification. So without clarification, you will be like halfway there itself. So incomplete wisdom itself. So that's why Lord Krishna is also telling the same thing, told the same thing. Arjuna also got the question, immediately asked. The tradition which is present is not the healthy tradition. The present tradition, whoever asks the question somebody, they are not going to answer. So they simply say that sit down, not to ask any question, just read the books. But the tradition which our ancient people followed was completely different. They used to tell their disciples or people to ask any question, and they used to clarify, so that time people were with much more interest on learning the wisdom. So they used to ask the questions and get the answers, and go forward in the wisdom itself. That is why Arjuna also got the question that, so how come it is possible you are present now, but you taught the wisdom in the beginning itself to the sun? So that is a question, right? For everybody it is a question. So he asked the question directly to Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna explained him in the next slokam itself. So what he explained, what he told, so will be a very elaborative answer to the question. All the doubts will clear off from the fifth slokam itself. But due to not having much time today, let us stop the session over here, and we'll continue in the next week. So we'll learn about the fifth slokam completely in a one day itself. Let us do prarthana and end the session here. Om Mangalam Gurudevaya Mahaniya Prabodhatmane Sarvaloka Sharanyaya Sadhurupaya Mangalam. Prabodharpanam to everybody.